Welcome back everyone. Quickly, let's continue our discussion on HTML input types, and right now we'll be discussing about the HTML input type of radio button. The input type of radio defines a radio button. Radio buttons let a user select only one of a limited number of choices. For instance, right here, I'm going to show you how this code works quickly so you can be able to understand. But in our tutorial, we are going to show you how you can select only one and multiple radio buttons. So let's get back to our document. As you can see, we are having this document right here. Quickly, let's use our radio button back here. Now immediately after this one, I'm creating another input, and I will give it input type, another input type of what? Input type of radio. The radio button is what we are going to specify here. Now let's reload it. Can you see we are having radio? We need 3 radio buttons, right? Let's copy this and duplicate it. 2, 3, as you can see. So let's reload our document. Can you see? If you notice very well, our radio button is not yet working, and definitely you should know that this is selecting multiple radio buttons already. So let's say, for instance, now we had some values. To keep values inside this radio button, I'm going to show you what is going to happen now. Yep. But in our next tutorial, we can discuss about that, because I don't want this tutorial to rough. So right now, one thing we need again is that we need to give it a label, because when you are giving people radio button like this, it will look rough. They will not know what you are trying to say about this. It's just like a design. So let's give it a name. Definitely that's where label comes from. Now the label, we can give it radio label. Understand? You can give it radio 1, radio 2, radio 3 if you want. So I'll just give it radio 1. Let me give it radio 1. Let me give it radio, and give it let's write HTML. We want people to be able to select HTML and give this a value. The value will be the value that you want them to be able to click. So when they click this HTML, it's going to be able to send this value. But before we let me do something now. Let me remove it first and reload our document so you can be able to see what is going on. Can you see now we are having HTML before our radio button? We don't want it to be before our radio button, we want it to be after our radio button. So let's place this label immediately after our radio button, so for you to see how it looks. Can you see now it is after our first radio button? Let's do the same thing for our other buttons also. Let's write another button right here, another label right here. Let's give this one radio 2, or you can give radio 1. That one will be the radio 0. So radio 1. So this radio 1, we have a name, which is what is the name? We need CSS. Let's just write CSS there so it can look nice also, and give the third one also a label. Let's give this one also a label and give it radio 2. This one will be radio 0, radio 1, radio 2. Understand? So now let's just write javascript right here. If we use javascript here, script, so as you can see now we are having a label. Our this one is having text input, password input, submit input, rest, reset input, HTML. So let me change it to radios input to make it HTML radio input. No, I can give another label again. I will separate all these things. Radio. Let me just give this radio right here. I will wrap all these things in one label, so you can see what I'm trying to do. Later can still do much better than this, but I'm just doing like this so you can be able to. I want to organize this radio input. So this radio input, you are going to see how it looks now. Can you see I'm having radio input right before our HTML. So what I want to do right here is that this radio input now I want it to be at another line, so entirely. So now let's reload. Can you see now we are having our radio inputs? So when they click this, So even let's say this radio input again, I want to break it again. Let's just close it from here and break it. Don't forget we have here another closing tag right here at the bottom here. We can remove that one because we don't need it again. We have already closed it at the top here. So now we break it so that it won't make our document look raw. As you can see, now we are having our video input. So we can do like this for this one. So I'm trying to show you how you can arrange this your document so you can look nice. So let's reload. Can you see our radio input is right here now? As you can see now, as you can see, this is automatically selecting our HTML, CSS, JavaScript inputs. So the funniest part is that let now say we have selected them and submit it. Let's submit it. Can you see it's not sending anything to our index.php file? Now let's give it a value. This value right here, this HTML value right here, I'm going to copy it and specify it inside our what? Inside our radio input right here, and I'm going to give this one value. This value attribute is the one that is going to send our, that we are going to keep a data inside it. Let's now save it and reload our document. Let's submit. Can you see nothing is going yet? The reason why nothing is going yet, I'm going to show you. We don't give this our radio button a name value, so let's just give it d. Let's just give it d, any name, give it d. Let's reload our document. Let's come back and reload our document. Let's submit it again. Can you see our HTML is heading there, and is heading there using this d that we specify inside our name, inside our name right here, name attribute right here, as you can see. So without this d, it will never work. So now if you notice very well, we are not able to send our CSS and JavaScript. So for us to send CSS and JavaScript, we have to do the same thing. Give them value also. When you give them value, let's give this one CSS. Then you have to give it D as the name. Let's give this JavaScript auto D name. And also we specify name for it, and also we specify value. Let's give it value also and give it JavaScript. Let's save our document and reload. Let's come back and reload our document. Can you see now we are automatically selecting JavaScript, and let's use Java. Let's submit JavaScript. Can you see our JavaScript is going using this D? But the reason why I'm saying that I'm going to show you how you can use multiple and single is because you can select multiple if you want, and you can use it to select single if you want. If this name, all these names right here, they are like this, I'm going to show you in our future tutorial how you can use this thing to select multiple in deep details also. So I want you to just enjoy this one now and make sure that you practice. As you can see, we specify anytime you want to use this thing to select single, make sure that this name right inside here is also the same name that is inside the second element that is there. It's also the same name, that the same value that you specify inside your third input. As you can see, inside our first input, second input, and third input type of radio, we are having name attribute in all of them. The first name is having name attribute, the second name is, the third one is also having the name attribute. The value inside them is d d d. So when you click on any of it, it's going to switch, it's going to switch, it's going to switch. But as for this one, if you specify different names, let's say for instance now this one is having different name, let's say dd, this one is having ddd or anything, all of them is going to be the one that is going to be selected. Let's see. So as you can see, when we submit it now, you are going to see JavaScript is heading there, CSS is heading there, HTML is also heading there. So that's the benefit of using this. So if you want it to select only one, definitely the name must be the same. The name inside them must be the same. That is the main thing that is causing the selection multiple or selection single. So I think I've shown you this at once. So I'm okay for now. So let's click CSS now, because as you can see, this CSS is heading there. So The reason why we are able to select only one is because they are having the same name. But if, for instance, the name inside them is different, it's going to select them. And that's why in default, if you haven't specified this name attribute here, you don't specify name attribute here, you don't specify name attribute here, it will automatically, when you select, it will not go anywhere, it will not change. All of them will just be have the select, and when you submit, the submit button is going to take all of them, and it's not going to send anything self. It's not going to send anything because we don't specify the name inside it. But when we specify name inside it is when the submit button is going to send something inside it. So now let's reload it. Let's submit. Can you see we are sending all of it? But let's say for instance now you select all of them and you don't specify name, and you don't specify this name at all. You remove the name or you don't even give any option there. You submit it, do not take anything at all. That's the benefit of using it. Make sure you practice this, because if you don't practice, nobody can do that for you. And what akorede ayofe is my name. I wish to see you guys next time. Have a great day. Thank you so much. And anything you don't understand in this tutorial, you can check our playlist, because I'm deeply explaining this for you guys so you can be able to understand and have full confidence in this. Have a great day. Thank you so much, and let us meet in the next